here are the skills that separate top salespeople from the mediocre or weak salespeople. I'm coming from real estate sales, but it doesn't matter. Whatever you're going to be selling, the skills are going to be pretty much all the same. It just depends on the product. So I happen to sell houses. You could be maybe selling cars, jewelries, you could be selling pens, you could be selling subscriptions, courses, whatever you're selling still is going to be applied. And sales career is great because there's no ceiling. Some industries will have the ceiling because the product is cheap and it takes time to sell one product, so you're limited to the amount of products you're going to sell a day, plus you only have 7 days a week and 365 days a year, and we're not going to be working every single day. So there is some potential ceilings for some of the sales career, and maybe you should be switching the careers, or maybe not. But the skills that are going to make you best at selling solar panels are very close to skills that are going to make you best at real estate career or car dealership or something along those lines. Or you could be selling insurance. Very close to car sales and a little bit different from real estate sales, but principles are the same. So to be the best, here's a couple of things that I boiled it down to, and these are fundamentals. So number one, you have to be fast. In order, how to be fast. So as soon as you get some indicator off, you got a lead, you got a client, somebody who's interested in doing business with you somehow in different shapes or forms, you got to reply right away. You got to call them up right away. You got to deliver whatever they're asking right away. If you've been you've been on a meeting and now you're supposed to present an invoice or estimate, you do it right away. If you missed a call, you call them back right away. If they submitted a form on your website, you get back to them right away. If there's a decision need to be made later this week, you follow up right away. You are just being fast. You give the estimate, you got the okay from the client, you try to book them as soon as possible. You be there on time, you finish the job as soon as you can, and you deliver the final product as soon as you can. So you, in real estate sales, if the client texts us sometimes, I want to see this one right away, you go there right away. Yes, it's going to be hard, but in the beginning, that's what you have to do. And later in the career, it's also what you have to do. You have to be fast. The speed that you get to the client when they just curious is even more crucial to be fast. It's seconds, it's minutes, it's not more than a minute or two. If it's more, then it weakens the chances of you getting the client. So first, you have to be number one, fast. Second, you have to be reliable. So people will have to feel like they're in the good hands. So how do they feel they're in the good hands? They can sense that you know what you're doing. They can see that you're going to do what you're promising that you're going to do. And just the whole sense of them doing business with you just checks boxes all the time. I can trust this guy. I can do business with this girl. They feel like they can rest assured that the job will be done. Whatever sales career you're in, you can either do that with words in the beginning, of course. You're just making sure that I know that this is what you probably are feared about. This is what you probably are worried about. Let me make sure that you will for sure get this delivered. And they might be like, oh, yeah, I do have this fear and I do have this concern. Yeah, you addressed it. Now I don't have it. So even talking about this before they even asked, but you know that they have this fear. You know in your sales career, whatever you're selling right now, you know for sure what they are, what concerns they have. Every single client has the same list of concerns. Once you go through these lists of concerns, you can just talk about them in the beginning and they already feel better because the others didn't do it. And when you deliver and prove that you actually cared, you're reliable. You're available and reliable. Number three, confident. Confident comes with knowledge. Once you know about your product, once you know about your process, once you feel comfortable in around people, which you may have to invest in yourself in some skills on improv comedy, maybe a little bit of some courses in here and there to learn how to talk to people and just feel confident around people. And plus, you need to be confident in what you're doing. In the beginning, whatever career you're going to be doing, whatever product you're going to be selling, you might not know everything, but you still have to instill that confidence by learning more about the craft that you're selling. The more you know, the more you're going to talk about, the more confidently you're going to be talking about, the more confidence it's going to project. Salespersons, as soon as you enter and talk to the top salespeople, you'll see that they feel confident. They feel confident because, of course, they have experience. They have past sales. They already have a momentum. They already feel great in their space, but they also have a lot of knowledge. So you can beat by knowledge. That's what is going to be your biggest tool. But if you're already in the business and been selling, but you don't see results, the confidence, or maybe you're like, yes, I'm selling it, but I don't really know too much about it. But you have to invest time in learning about it. All right, moving on. Honesty. You have to be honest. You have to be honest because people feel it. If you're honest, this carries you a long way. Being honest is the best thing you can show to the client, even if it has to be, even if you have to tell them that, honestly, I don't think that this purchase is the right decision for you. A lot of times, when I'm selling houses and I see that somebody wants to buy a house but it's far, or it's going to be a condo but half of the price of the house that's far, I'll tell them, look, go do condo. The house is not the right choice. You're going to be traveling 2 to 3 hours every single day. This is it's just going to be a waste of time. You're not going to like it. You're going to sell it, and I just see it right away. Maybe you just think about buying condo closer to the city or something like that, or just say, this is the wrong product. This is being honest in this way, but it's just something that you might see that will somehow affect their life and change their experience, and you should just bring it up as well. Just being honest. Just being sincere and honest will carry you a long way. The tricks, these ways to just make a sale and pull the money out of the client, they don't go a long way. These people don't sell too much. They just never, they end up quitting, they end up being broke, they end up looking for another job all the time because, there's no relationships, there's no marathon thinking, there's no long-term thinking, no thinking big. It's just, let me make a quick buck and run away. This is the mindset. So honesty carries you a long way. And it leads me to the final one, is a relationship over the check. Relationships over the money. It's talking about long-term thinking. All the money is in follow-up. The first time you reach out to a client is not going to be transitioned into the check. It's not going to be transitioned into the closed sale or contract. Most of the time. Sometimes it will. Most of the times it won't. Most of the time the money is in follow-up. And a lot of times salespeople already have the clients that they can transact with. It's just they always look for a new one. And that new one comes and it's just a fresh meat. It needs to be prepped, it needs to be cooked. And there's already meat that already prepped, and you already have the client that's ready, but you just need to follow up a little bit more. And following up is a little bit boring. It's like starting a business. Starting a business is exciting, but then running the business and growing and scaling the business is boring because it's processes. It's all the same thing. It needs to be optimized. It's a lot of friction. It's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not fun. And so a lot of people fail, and they just grow to 2, 3, 4 million revenue a year, and then they just die. And because it's boring, they want to start another business, and then there's the whole notion of multiple streams of income. But I just digress. Thinking long term, thinking marathon, thinking relationship over transaction will lead you to a lot of referrals, a lot of great business, a lot of people coming back. Even if you spend a lot of time with clients and it never ended up being nowhere, it's just client just decided not to do anything, and you just have to go back to them next year or something. But the next year is going to be a really busy year. You're investing your time and money right now to have a great next year. I do it all the time. I do it all the time in my business. I invest a lot of time, a lot of money back into the business, so my future business is good. And one thing you have to also remember, that in sales and business, you always have to live in the future. So you live at least 3 months ahead. So if you're a real estate agent, you live 3 months from now. So what is my 3 months from now going to look like? I don't have really too many clients. I don't have pending contracts. I don't do anything right now on social media. I'm not making really calls and follow-ups. I think I'm going to be broke within 3 months. Or if you already have lots of calls coming in, you're putting in a lot of content, you're doing lots of input, you going on networking events, you're creating videos, you're making calls, you have calls from people, you have active clients, you're showing properties, and you're negotiating deals. You're going to be making money in 3 months. So you always live in 3 months from now. Today's closings is just 3 months late before work. So for any business, any sales, any business, this is how it is. You live in the future. If you live day to day, and like today is a good day, I made a sale, tomorrow I don't know, you have to invest and take control. Be proactive and take control of your career. So those are like 5 things that I would say are probably the most important. That would be being fast, being reliable, available all the time. I used to put on Facebook that I'm available 24/7 for people. Of course, I'm sleeping at 3 a.m. Of course, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm sleeping. I'm not available. But I'm saying that I am available, so that projects that really just reach out to me anytime. I know you're sleeping too at those times, so you're not going to be reaching out. But I'm going to say that I'm working 24/7 because that shows that I'm available to you anytime. So that's just another way to show that I'm available anytime. People want to do business with people that are available, that are hardworking, that are 100% invested in what they're doing, that are reliable, they can trust these people, they're being honest, they will care about the client, and they are gladly be able to pay the money to that. So a lot of times I was about like this much for buying the product, but the salesperson was a wrong salesperson, and I wasn't buying the product, and I was mad at the salesperson for not selling me the product. Can you believe it? But I had it. I had it with a car. I had it with an Apple, and probably a bunch of other times when it was just, no, I'm not gonna help you make money here. You're not helping me. I'm not gonna help you. It's just like this, and a lot of people will have it too. So sometimes you just need to not fuck up and just be yourself and be a good person, and the sales will happen. And sometimes you'll just have to invest in yourself, invest in just being fast, following up. Sometimes you don't want to call this person 10 times because he hasn't answered the call for 9 times, but you see that that person is looking for something and that person needs something, then just make that ring a little bit. Leave the voicemail. That person will come back to you within 4 months just because you've been there. They're watching you. Yeah, I got it. Well, when I need you, I'll get back to you. And you need it now, but the only thing that you really need is to touch, and that's already is a part of the sale. Just that touch is going to do the job. You don't really have to get on the phone with them. They're watching your calls. They will call you back whenever they need to. And just because you've been there, it just reminds them and just validates that you were there. So hope this helps. See you next time.